From Studio 87 in Houston, Texas, it's time once again for the STL Ocarina Podcast. And now, here he is, the host of the STL Ocarina Podcast, Charles Berman. Good evening and welcome once again to another exciting edition of the STL Ocarina Podcast. Whoa, it's a little dark in here. Hang on one second. Wait a second. Hold on 1 second. What's going on here? Thank you! Welcome once again to the STL Ocarina Podcast for Thursday, October 26, 2023. Did I try to scare you a little bit? I'm your host, Charles Berman, product tester for STL Ocarina. And in this week's podcast, we talk about the upcoming events with the brand. We got a fun fact, your joke du jour, and a lot of fun stuff. And to kick this week's podcast off, we got a little segment we called, Did You Know That? Variations exist, but a typical ocarina is an enclosed space with 4 to 12 finger holes and a mouthpiece that projects the body. That projects from the body. Now you know. We now go to the STL Ocarina Comedy Lounge for your joke du jour, and this joke was submitted by my wife, Cherish Berman. Thank you so much, Cherish, for this joke. What is the hottest boy band in the Magic World? Wand Direction. Get it? Wand Direction? Get it? Wand Direction? Ah! And on that note, we'll be right back with more of the STL Ocarina Podcast. Don't go away, because coming up after this commercial break, it'll be time to go to your STL Ocarina Podcast Experts Corner for your helpful hit of the week. Stay tuned, we'll be right back with more of the STL Ocarina Podcast right after this timeout.
This is the world's largest ocarina. This massive piece is 38 inches long and weighs 28 pounds. The inside is completely hollow. I wonder how many gallons of water it can hold. Take a guess in the comments. This ocarina is made of ceramic and is one of only 2 models in existence. It has 9 tone holes, which are so large that you have to press down on these keys in order to change the pitch. Check that out. To play a note as low as C3, the chamber of the ocarina has to be this large. Pretty cool, huh? Like and follow for all things ocarina.
Welcome back once again to the STL Ocarina Podcast. And now it's time once again for your STL Ocarina Podcast Experts Corner for your helpful hint of the week. Play the name of that tune. Have a friend or family member help you with this. Ask him or her to say the name of a tune. Then you would have to play it by ear. The more you do this kind of thing, the more natural it becomes. In turn, the more you can play by ear, the easier it is to play with other musicians and the more you feel like a real musician. And that was your STL Ocarina Podcast Experts Corner for your helpful hint of the week. But don't go away, because coming up after this commercial break, it'll be time for your STL Ocarina News. Stay tuned, we'll be right back with more of the STL Ocarina Podcast right after this timeout.
You should learn how to play a musical instrument. Here at STL Ocarina, we believe that music is for anywhere, anytime, and anyone. These are 5 reasons why you should pick up an instrument today. First of all, listening to music, or better yet, playing music, can stimulate your brain and increase its capacity for memory. On top of that, reading sheet music can increase your hand-eye coordination. I mean, think about it. You have to read these little notes on a page, and then your brain converts that information into specific motor patterns, rhythm patterns, sometimes incorporating breathing techniques, all while you're listening to what you're playing to make sure it sounds good. And all of these things have to work in tandem. Playing an instrument can really boost your reading and comprehension skills, especially when you expose yourself to increasingly more difficult pieces of music. And as you learn more difficult pieces of music, you might find that learning an instrument is pretty difficult, but that's okay. That's what makes it a great tool for learning self-discipline. It really takes a lot of discipline to go over the hardest parts again and again to get them just right. And last, and most important to me, and probably a lot of us, is that the more proficient you get with an instrument, the more you can play it the way you want to play it and what you want to play. And that leads to making it a great tool for self-expression. And when the self is expressed, stress levels go down. Who wouldn't love that? So that's why.
Welcome back once again to the STL Ocarina Podcast. And now it's time once again for your STL Ocarina News. Calling all ghouls and ghosts. Tomorrow evening on our TikTok page at 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central, join us for another haunting night of Halloween songs, played by our very own Elisa Rolano. So join us for a spooky, scary, wizarding night of music, fun. So if you haven't done it yet, follow us on our TikTok page and hit that share button to get us on the FYP. And did you know that we have a newsletter? And here's a demonstration on how to subscribe to the STL Ocarina newsletter. And here's a quick demonstration video on how to subscribe to the STL Ocarina newsletter. If you visit the website www.stlocarina.com, you'll scroll all the way down until you see newsletter. Just type in your name and your email address and hit the old submit button to subscribe to the STL Ocarina newsletter. Subscribing to the STL Ocarina newsletter is so easy, even Link could do it. And finally, we have a coupon code for our viewers here. If you use the coupon code at checkout, Charles, you'll receive a whopping 20% off on all products. Visit our website www.stlocarina.com today. That's the coupon code at checkout, Charles. You'll receive a whopping 20% off on all products. Visit our website www.stlocarina.com today. And don't go away, because coming up after this commercial break, it'll be time for your Hot 8 Bestsellers of the Week. Stay tuned, we'll be right back with more of the STL Ocarina Podcast right after this commercial break.
Top 5 songs from Ocarina of Time, according to ChatGPT.
Welcome back once again to the STL Ocarina Podcast. And now it's time once again for your Hot 8 Bestsellers of the Week. Number 8 this week goes to, it is our 12th hole C major bass ocarina, The Harmony. It's in stunning obsidian and opal. Number 7 this week. Number 7 this week goes to one of our Hot 8 Bestsellers this week. This is our 12th hole tenor ocarina, The Dragon. Our number 6 bestseller this week. Number 6 this week goes to on our Hot 8 Bestsellers countdown. It is our Dungeons & Dragons, The Rogue, Ocarina, Subtle Songs in C Major Tenor. Number 5 this week goes to on our Hot 8 Bestsellers. Number 5 this week goes to... it is our Element Ocarina, Water in C Major Tenor. And, oh boy, we'll be right back with more of the STL Ocarina Podcast with the conclusion of your Hot 8 Bestsellers of the Week, plus your words of wisdom. Stay tuned, we'll be right back with the conclusion of your Hot 8 Bestsellers of the Week, plus your words of wisdom, right here, only on the STL Ocarina Podcast. We'll be right back after this commercial break. Welcome back once again to the STL Ocarina Podcast. And now it's time for the conclusion of your Hot 8 Bestsellers of the Week. Number 4 this week goes to, in our Hot 8 Bestsellers, it is our 12-hole Classic Zelda Tenor Ocarina in C Major with Legend of Zelda Songbook. Number 3 this week goes to, in our Hot 8 Bestsellers, it is our 12-hole Tenor Ocarina, The Phoenix. Number 2 this week goes to, on our Hot 8 Bestsellers, it is one of our most popular ocarinas. It is our 12-hole Tenor Wooden Ocarina. And finally, the big kahuna, number 1 this week goes to, number 1 this week once again, in your hearts and in your minds, once again, the number 1 bestseller of the week goes to, it is the 12-hole Tenor Ocarina with Legend of Zelda Songbook. And that was your Hot 8 Bestsellers of the Week. But before we go, we have some words of wisdom for you. For the last 30 years, The Undertaker, Mark Calloway, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, has been known for his wrestling moves, including his famous Tombstone Piledriver. Hopefully now he'll also be known for his 3 mental moves he shared during his Hall of Fame induction speech. Mental move 1. Perception is reality, and your actions matter. The things you do or say can have more of an impact on others than you realize. You never know what saying hello could mean to someone else. The difference it could make in someone else's life. It might even save their life. Mental move 2. Respect and loyalty go a long way. His dad taught him to treat everyone with respect. You are no more important than anyone else and vice versa. And 3. Never be content. Live life outside your comfort zone and never be happy with comfortable. Continue to push through. Dream big. And always strive to be better. Go on and push yourself out of that comfort zone. Which of these mental moves resonates with you? It looks like we're all out of time. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you saw, please check out our website at www.stlocarina.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on all the major social media platforms. Join us next week for more late-breaking news, upcoming events, and much more, right here, only on the STL Ocarina Podcast. This is Charles Berman, product tester for STL Ocarina, saying so long from the STL Ocarina Podcast. Keep practicing. We'll see you next week. Take care, everyone. We'll see you next time. For more information about our products, visit our website at www.stlocarina.com.